Dear beloved Creator within and without, we gather to acknowledge our unity and our collective purpose. We know from deep within that it is up to each of us to hold a moral and ethical line when seeing it crossed. We ask for your protection, Creator, from all hostility or roadblocks, so that our humankind can live in the abundance and the compassionate world you created. So now we are putting on the armor of God. It is you, it is me, it is us. We are the ones who are taking this on and together, because it is our calling to put a halt, a full stop, and then a correction to the harm that is coming to us, and especially our children. They are the innocent ones. As their protectors, we cannot be naive or uninformed. And so we gather our spirits in your name, Creator of all that is, and so it is.
Amen. Thank you, Charlie.
My pleasure.
My name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head of the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I'm going to be speaking about our interacting with the Marine Corps. And I have a piece I'd like to read. If I get through it and we still have time, I have a little more I'd like to say. This went out to 6 Marines that I've been communicating with over the last 4 or 5 years. And there's 2 colonels, 1 major, and 4 captains. So that's 7. I directed it to them, and I also directed it to Headquarters Marine Corps. I directed it to their JAG attorney for the Department of Justice, Seth, the DOJ attorney downtown Portland, Ellen Rosenblum, and 2 of her assistant attorneys, and then to 36 Oregon sheriffs. Greetings. Notice to the agent is notice to the principal, and so forth. I am filing excuse me. I am filing paper with the U.S. Marine Corps IG Deputy Carl Shelton, and I did that this morning. I require an email to acknowledge receipt. You have 7, 14, and 21 days to comply or to acquiesce to incompetence, oath breaking, thus without honor and unfit for a position of trust. Of all the services, the Marines hold stronger and true to honor. A request and or FOIA demand. Where are the men located that will provide a U.S. Marine Corps tribunal? We must do it ourselves. No one can do it for you, and you cannot do it alone. Remedy is available in Article 3, Amendment 7, and we have that. We lack men to do the lawful job. 36 sheriffs declined to abide by their oath. The Guard, that's the Oregon National Guard, Provost Marshal, refuses to do it, and the state police superintendent also. They were both appointed by Kate Brown, a convicted criminal. When any one of us does not show up in their own name and body, mind, spirit, flesh, blood, and soul, there's a space left. No one can do it but yourself among the men, the women, and the children on Oregon. Nobody but you. I am seeking a man of integrity, actually 3, for a tribunal. Yes, I know. Why am I looking in the crotch? The crotch is a derogatory name that Marines use for themselves and sailors use for Marines. Excuse me, I enlisted and I speak with the Navy accent, spiced by 84 years of life. A sovereign man without subject or ruler on the land and soil of Oregon, the state, circa 1859 or 60. And that's because in the earlier part of 1859, Oregon wasn't a state. A constitutional Republican form of government is required. It is not here. We have a de facto incorporated governance running as an oligarchy out of Salem. Proof, evidence, docket numbers, verdicts, presentments, our grand jury, Article 1, Section 1, and the court's records, verdicts, true bills, and presentments are being ignored by 36 district attorneys, one attorney general, and one JAG. This is tantamount to contempt of our constitutions, both of them, the federal and Oregon's, and contempt of common law. Amendment 7 in the Constitution is specifically common law. And when they choose to disregard what we give them, that's contempt in their own book. Then I say Article 3, Amendment 7 for treason. And then I say, look up Athens, Tennessee, 1947. And if you haven't looked up Athens, Tennessee, 1947, that's a really good thing to do. Then I go on and I identify myself. I don't know if I've ever read this. I'll read it. I find it interesting. Of course, it's about me. I am. I am known as one of the people, clerk of the Civilian Court of Record of the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, Ron Vroman, the common man, private, Ronald Charles Vroman in cursive on my birth certificate, as trustee to a private membership association for the all cap name, the Straw Man, also known as Ronald Charles Vroman, Private Attorney General by the United States Congress, 42 USC 1988 and 18 USC 1510 and 18 USC 1512, and to be known as one of the people, also qualified criminal investigator and federal witness, and by living testimony without rebuttal, status identified and without rebuttal in the City of Beaverton Public Record, the Beaverton Municipal Court, and the United States Federal District Court, Portland. A U.S. Navy veteran, 5159365 discharge, the flesh, blood, soul, body, mind, spirit, a man, on Oregon, an Oregonian, a continuous traveler, a non U.S. citizen, born August 14, 1938, Reno, Nevada, with two ancestors, a father and a son, direct bloodline that fought for New York in our revolution. My mother's father was born Stockwell Gonzalez, 1876, in New Mexico. I say I do not trust the Navy JAG, but that is what you have with the UCMJ, Universal Code of Military Justice. We need a military tribunal and choose the Marine Corps. Please assign liaison immediately. The reasoning is the United States Navy is constitutional, and the U.S. Marine Corps is a division of the United States Navy and suitable for Oregon's land and soil. There are no military facilities on Oregon. No Navy, Army, Air Force has a constitutional presence with forts, ports, bases, armories, and needful buildings. And they may enter onto the land and soil by sea or air. A tribunal, as such, would have lawful jurisdiction over the de facto state of Oregon, upper and lower, aka all caps state of Oregon, and its de facto subdivisions. It would also have the capacity to recognize and assist in our claims of cognizance, our writ of habeas corpus ad subjectium. Hard to pronounce those Latin words sometime. And writs of other forms. The Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, also known as Article 1, Section 1 of Oregon's Constitution, circa 1859, and the First Amendment Assembly, using the United States of America's Constitution, circa 1859, has a civilian court of record that implemented, oh, the dogs are going to bark. Hope that works. The First Amendment Assembly, using the United States of America's Constitution circa 1859, has a civilian court of record that implemented Ex parte Milligan, nullifying Lieber Code, martial law, and FEMA. The entire pseudo government on Oregon identifies with two attorneys from, with, or for the U.S. Department of Justice in Portland. They determined and filed into the record of the taking of the land at 1000 Southwest 3rd. That's the Marco Hatfield Federal Building. They state that the city of Portland is a subdivision of the county of Multnomah, is a subdivision of the state of Oregon, is a subdivision of the United States. That is not a constitutional Republican form of government. And then I close with living testimony, and I close with full faith and credit, and we name what law is, and we name that we are the ones that decide the definition of the words we use, and we decide our method of communication. I'm not sure how long that is. William, can you tell me? Okay. I have another small piece here I'd like to add. As slick as a duck or beaver can be, we find Oregon pulling on the other 32 states to get the work done. The job begins and ends with actually getting involved and being responsible for your participation. First, you must buy into the goal, returning your state to a constitutional Republican form of government this year, 2022. Through the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly on Oregon, or if you want, start your own Jural Assembly wherever you are. Then embrace the consequences of failure to reach the goal. Jordan Peterson, he said, it's important to have a goal, but people are more interested in not failing than in winning. Don't you find that peculiar? Anyhow, you have to have something that you don't want really bad in addition to a goal that you want. And what we don't want really bad is more malevolent incorporated governance from the Kate Brown Salem oligarchy. I don't think we need any more of that. It is up to our sovereign without ruler or subject mindset. That's me and you, the men and women on Oregon. We need 32 other states to bring their jural assemblies to the point where they have a civilian court of record and they know why. And you have to know these things in your core being. Moving through the status and standing phase while you wait the 21 days to cure it 3 times with acquiescence and default. What it took 4 years, they can do in 21 days. We need men and women with their children to testify with a living document in the form of an affidavit of truth that they are and are not, as a sovereign so decides. It is nice if they sign to be on the jury pool also. Then you need to call a grand jury and set your claim. Oathbreakers without honor are unable to hold a position of trust. I'm sorry about that. And that's what you have to do. You have to find in the public record, and it's easy to do, all of those that have voted against our Constitution and broken their oath. If it's in the public record and they made the vote and you can read it and it's obvious, then there's nothing they can do but acquiesce to that. I'm sorry about those dogs. Give William a fit editing all of this. I'm sorry. Where was I? Article 3. Yep. An Article 3 court is one Supreme Court with a small s and a capital C that will claim original jurisdiction. The United States Federal District Courts passed a law called Mukini 301, and in there you'll find that they renamed the courts. And any court whose name begins with the United States, such as the United States Federal District Court of Portland, is not an Article 3 court. They wrote a law just to fake you out. You think you're in an Article 3 court, and you're not. You're in Admiralty because they wrote Mukini 301. Okay. Article 3, the court where we can find remedy, men and women against the state, is found in Amendment 7, where a common law jury makes a verdict that has no appeal in law. Therefore, it's supreme. Then you have to go step by step. 5 members to start. We're getting a little flack from sheriffs. That's maybe even an understatement. A lot of sheriffs are far into the de facto and the Salem oligarchy, and they want to stay there. They don't care about your constitutional rights. They would prefer to operate in color of law. But anyhow, I offered a sheriff, 2 retired sheriffs, and a jailer to find one more sheriff or deputy and form their own Jural assembly and do all the same work we've done for themselves and prove it to themselves that we're not lying. We're telling you the straight truth. And they don't want to believe it. Cognitive dissonance and Stockholm syndrome. Anyhow, 5 people can start it. Takes about 15 hours of work. Costs you about $50 in Federal Reserve notes for postage. And then another $40 for a seal. The making of a civilian court of record is not difficult. We did it. We figured it out and did it. It's not hard. Then you have to write up the docs in the best way you can, following examples and your own boilerplate. Their boilerplate will be different from ours. We have Article 7 amended, and they will have something else that flipped their state into an incorporated governance instead of government. So their boilerplate will be a little bit different. Thinking and preparing will consume about all of the 21 days you have to wait for it to cure. With those that are going to acquiesce, because they have to acquiesce to the truth. Then you get on Skype and you get on Zoom. Then you must find a competent communications member. We have William, thank you very much. And he's most helpful. Then you need a wordsmith that can edit and rewrite. We have Charlie, thank you very much. And control the message so that you get out what you really want to get out. And that is returning to a constitutional Republican form of government this year, 2022, and set the price for failure and set it realistically. The price for failure is they're killing us. And I yield. How'd that go, William? Not too bad? Okay. We missed you at the noon meeting on Zoom. So, yeah, but sometime we ought to, what? Yeah, Charlie said she recorded it.
But the Jural says, today in the presence of our flesh, blood, soul, mind, body, spirit, men and women, sovereigns without ruler or subjects, people on the land and soil of Oregon, we witness for our court's order for the purposes listed on this day, June 26th of 2022. Ronald C. Vroman, clerk of the court, in lieu of signature, and the witnesses in lieu of signature. This is the bottom of the document. This is how we had to do it. Cynthia, Ray, William, Tanya, Tina, Charlie, and Eric. And all of these documents, as I said, are posted or will be posted on our Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, so orsja.org. So now I would like to call the vote. And Tanya, do you want to call the names? And what we will need to hear from you is that you find these named individuals in this document guilty of treason.
Okay, well, I'm first, so I find them guilty of treason. William,
I find them guilty also.
and I changed the name from Cynthia to Farwell in the list. So Farwell. Is he here?
He was.
I could have swore I saw him.
Yeah, he was here.
I don't see him.
Okay, then we'll use Ann Byers.
Yes,
Is Ann here?
I'm here.
Okay, Ann.
And what do you vote?
I find him guilty as charged.
Okay, Charlie,
Yes, I find them guilty as charged.
Brandon,
I concur, guilty.
Glenn,
Charged.
Say it again.
Guilty as charged.
Tina,
Guilty as charged.
Teresa,
Guilty as charged.
Bobby,
Go.
Guilty as charged.
Sue,
Guilty as charged.
Mark,
I find them guilty as charged.
Carrie.
Guilty as charged.
Hey, that's everybody.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.